Greetings and welcome to another episode of High Point, Turning Point, and Endpoint. In this installment, I'll be taking a look at how Jurassic World fits into the Jurassic Park franchise. And to start, I do think rather highly of this film and consider it, I would say, the second high point in the movie franchise. Jurassic World was released 14 years after a hiatus for the franchise, and of course released in 2015, made over $1 billion, 1.3 billion, very successful financially, and it does an excellent job of balancing nostalgia and trying to introduce new material to the franchise. Jurassic World, it's more than just a rebrand. It's really a realization of John Hammond's original dream for Jurassic Park. It follows basically the same formula as the first film, but it has enough stylistic changes that it does feel new. And the plot is fairly straightforward. It follows two brothers who are spending a weekend with their estranged aunt on the highly successful dinosaur theme park, Jurassic World. It's located on the original spot of the first park, Isla Nublar, and the boys explore the park as a newly created hybrid dinosaur escapes captivity and sends the park into total chaos, which is essentially this entire plot of the film. And the characters are fairly strong in this film, I would say. First, foremost would be Owen Grady, played by Chris Pratt, being the much-needed grounded presence in the film. He's usually the one that points out when something's obviously wrong to probably the audience and to, of course, himself. He does respect the animals, the dinosaurs, but he always remains realistic about the dangers that they do present, how they need to be raised. And unlike the other protagonists to this point in the series, he's really the first and only one who benefits from having years of experience with living dinosaurs and learns from them. And I think that's why he's the most successful protagonist with interacting with dinosaurs, especially the raptors. Then there's Claire Daring, who is more of a corporate figure. She manages the day-to-day activities of the park. She's very analytical and cold. Her perspective and the way she views the dinosaurs basically as assets to be used to keep the park running. And although she is a bit annoying and pretentious throughout the film, her character does have the most room to grow and does so, seeing the dinosaurs more as living creatures by the end of the film. She has tremendous growth. Again, that's because she has so much room to grow. And the other character I do want to highlight is Gray, who's the younger brother of the two Mitchell boys. He brings, I think, a crucial element to the film. Just pure wonder. He's very passionate about dinosaurs. Everything that he sees excites him. Every dinosaur, every new attraction, he's knowledgeable and he just wants to be there. And in this kind of alternate world where Jurassic Park succeeds, everyone's kind of mildly indifferent to dinosaurs. They're used to it. These are creations that have been around for seemingly at least 15 years. And Gray reminds the audience that this is actually a really wondrous, accomplishment. It's a fulfillment of many children's wildest dreams. And he brings the excitement that's much needed and enthusiasm that other characters tend to lack. The dinosaurs themselves, the first thing I want to mention, when I watched it, what really kind of took me out right away of the film is the raptors. I really did not like the design. Kind of thought they looked terrible. And I think it's one of the pitfalls of overly depending on CGI, where these raptors are CGI throughout the entire film. Somehow the raptors from Jurassic Park, a film made in 1993, they're both more realistic and more intimidating. And the raptors are just involved in probably the worst subplot of any in the franchise, which is the attempt, of course, to use them as military weapons. It's just a really contrite plot idea that requires the raptors to kind of lose their mystique to become friendlier, I suppose. And although the scene with Owen riding through the forest on his motorcycle next to the raptors, yes, it's cool and using all the marketing stuff. It, as much as I enjoyed it, it's still absurd. And it really does undermine the horror aspect of the raptors. The intimidating factor really just goes out the window with that. In contrast, the Indominus Rex, it does look fantastic, I gotta say. It's really intimidating, just the size, its color, its design, it continually surprises the characters and disrupts all the other dinosaurs it encounters. They just don't know how to predict it. It has a natural aggression that really ups the ante for sure. And it's a very natural progression from each film, where the main horror was some sort of large dinosaur or combination. You got Jurassic Park, you have Rexy, the main Tyrannosaurus Rex. In the Lost World, of course, they increase the threat. Now you have two T-Rexes, the parents. In Jurassic Park 3, you have the Spinosaurus, which is the biggest creature we've seen up until that point. And then here for Jurassic World, the Indominus is like the next step in evolution of horror, and it kills just to kill. And I think that is a new concept where most dinosaurs kill to survive or expand their territory or protect their young. The Indominus is the first dinosaur that basically kills for sport. The other dinosaur of note in this film is the Mosasaurus. I think it steals every scene that's in it, and it looks fantastic, though it's the most underutilized dinosaur by far. Pretty much every appearance in the movie was already previewed in the trailers for the film, except for the last time at the end of the movie. And I think it really highlights that the Mosasaurus, we could really use more underwater kind of interactions with the dinosaurs. Featuring dinos like the Mosasaurus would be really eerie and intense, kind of like Deep Blue Sea vibes for sure. As for the theme for this film, I think it really comes down to the question of what is a monster. The dinosaurs, they really are just animals doing their best to survive, even in the park with the confines of Jurassic World. You got the ultra-aggressive Indominus that was introduced, often painted as a monster, but really even in the last scene when it's fighting Rexy and Blue, the raptor Blue, the Indominus is also just a victim of the creations and the greed and the hubris of the corporate company InGen. Dr. Wu, Hoskins, all of the InGen employees, even Maserati, who's now the owner of the park, of the island, and the dinosaurs, they're shown to be the ones that are really out of hand. Wu leans into like the mad scientist role, which I really did enjoy in this movie. He's amoral, unscrupulous, does whatever he wants just to do it, to see if he could, just to be cutting edge for the sake of being cutting edge. In his conversation he has with Maserati in the middle part of the film, Maserati also realizes his own part where he enabled Henry Wu to do these experiments with carte blanche, without any regulations, tries to shut down the program, tries to redeem himself and stop the Indominus. I think that theme, though, of what really is a monster, shows that it's those who would use the dinosaurs for their own personal gain, whether it's to use them as weapons or for profit or to show. The monsters aren't the dinosaurs, it's the people who created them just to do so. To conclude, Jurassic World, definitely a triumphant movie, deeply flawed for sure, but I think it's very ambitious. It does attempt to honor the past films, with the nostalgia, while adding something new. It follows a simple formula of the first movie, really. Just put people and dinosaurs on an isolated island and let chaos ensue. That's it. Jurassic World works. And ultimately, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, they were doomed to fail. Much like the movies themselves, in a way. So, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this installment of High Point.